Okay, 2 special sessions, and still legislators did not fill completely the state's massive budget hole. By the end, lawmakers spent 43 days in special session, each day costing taxpayers additional dollars.
Yeah, how much though? How much did all that cost, and was it worth it? We asked Capitol correspondent Kevin Frey to take a look for us.
As the clock ticked down on June 23rd, tensions at the Capitol were at an all-time high.
This special session, in my opinion, is about as close to a waste of time as you can get.
After the first special session in February and March, lawmakers still left the state with a $600 million budget hole for this year.
I wish we had gotten our business done in the first special session for a lot of reasons.
In order to avoid big cuts, the governor called lawmakers in for a second special session, where they once again stalled on many of the plans.
You can't have the same budget without either additional revenue or further dramatic cuts.
Lawmakers again failed to pass sufficient tax measures, not even getting half of the governor's goal. They forced more than $300 million in cuts. Whether they get the job done or not, every time lawmakers come here to the Capitol, it costs you, the taxpayer, more money. For example, lawmakers are each paid $157 a day, which doesn't sound like a lot. But when you consider there are more than 140 legislators and the session lasted 25 days, that begins to add up, with the state paying out $571,000. On top of that, documents obtained by the 9 News investigators reveal that legislative staff was paid for extra hours and overtime, costing $228,000. Printing bills and agendas also carried a price tag, a combined $32,000. Sometimes the House alone spent thousands of dollars a day printing documents. All told, between the House and the Senate, the first special session cost the state about $1.3 million in additional spending. But then, remember, lawmakers failed to meet the governor's goals, and as a result, they came back again.
Our students can't wait. Our hospitals can't wait. Our disabled citizens can't wait.
This time, the session was a little shorter, only 18 days. During that time, documents obtained by investigators show the Senate spent about $196,000, or about $11,000 a day. The House clerk is still working to add up the cost for his chamber, but those per diem payments to lawmakers alone should run close to $300,000, meaning the second special session cost taxpayers at least $500,000.
Hopefully, the governor will take that into account the next time he decides to have multiple special sessions or any more special sessions in general. Because, when we're up here, it gets expensive. It gets expensive for the taxpayers, both the cost of us being here and the bills that we pass.
Adding everything together, between the $1.3 million cost of the first special session and the $500,000 or more spent on the second special session, efforts to fix the budget this year ended up costing taxpayers at least $1.8 million. When asked about the price tag at the start of the second special session, the governor pointed to what had been accomplished. When it was all said and done at the end of the 2 sessions, lawmakers raised about $1.5 billion worth of revenue for this fiscal year alone, saving state programs from big budget reductions.
The cost, while not insignificant, certainly isn't so high that we should not call ourselves into session and fix the problem.
Now, the reason lawmakers had to come in for special sessions in the first place is because of a rule only allowing legislators to deal with revenue-raising measures during a regular session in odd-numbered years. New Orleans Senator J.P. Morrell had a bill that would have changed that, allowing those votes to happen every year. It failed to get out of the Senate.
Had that measure been successful, rather than be in session for 6 months, we would have been in for 3 months and we would have resolved these problems. Instead, we had a special in the front of a regular and a special in the back of the regular, and we're not really far from where we started.
I like the way we do it now. I think every other year gives the opportunity for when a bill passes to see whether it actually generates any revenue and whether it actually does anything.
The full cost reports on the second special session for the House of Representatives will likely be released sometime later this summer. Back to you.